Most financial advisors that I talk to say that they want to start a YouTube channel, but they just don't know where to start or what videos to make. And then so today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the top 10 videos that you need to make as an insurance broker or a financial advisor that is proven to consistently get you leads in your business each and every single year. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which videos you need to make in order to generate those leads. So before I actually get into the screen share here, where I'm going to be going over all 10 videos that, by the way, I have created all of these videos on my channel and they consistently bring me hundreds, if not thousands of leads every single year. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about video content marketing and why you guys should seriously consider this if you haven't done so already. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you need to realize that if you're an insurance broker or financial advisor or investment professional, whatever it is, there is nothing inherently special about you or nothing that sets you apart from every single other professional in your industry. So, I'm an insurance broker, for example. There's nothing different. There's no access to products that I have. There's no special company. There's no secret underwriting that I get access to where I have a better product than any other insurance broker, on the market. The only thing that separates me from any other broker, and the only reason that a client would choose to do business with me over anyone else, is my personal brand and if they know, like, and trust me. So you need to build that trust and credibility with your clients so they say, hey, that's the guy that I want to do business with. And in today's day and age, in 2026, moving forward with GPT and with blog posts that get auto-written, with social media that can get auto-managed, with all these things that can get automatically created, the best way for you to position yourself and to gain that trust and credibility with your clients is this. Exactly what I'm doing right now, where I'm sitting in front of the camera and I'm talking to you and you're determining whether you like me or not by actually seeing me and getting to know me. And video content is the best way to do that. And the best platform that you can do that on is YouTube. So here's the thing. YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world, the #1 being Google, and Google owns YouTube. And so all of these search terms that we're going to be going over today, where all of your potential customers are searching for things, this is the #1 video platform where people are searching for these terms. Now that I sold you guys on YouTube, you're 100% in. You are ready to start your YouTube journey if you haven't done so already. Let's just get right into it here. So we have 10 videos that we're going to go over today. Before we get into it, I did want to talk a little bit about a brand new 2-hour masterclass that I created that you can have access to, where I break down step by step how I was able to scale my brokerage to 6 figures 100% online using social media and digital marketing. So there's 4 modules that go through all of the different things that I've used to scale my own practice. And if we just zoom in here real quick. So the first module talks about how to build a personal brand that attracts ideal clients. That's not only building, your logo, images, your colors. That's not only doing all of these things and building a personal brand. We do have all that in there, but it's also figuring out what your niche is. And so I say this in almost every single video that I create, is that you need to try and settle on some type of niche or some type of target market that resonates with you, because it's going to be so much easier for you to create content in front of your ideal market if it's something you're super passionate about and you already are interested in. So for example, if you're interested in golf or cars or cooking or trail running or bike riding or marathons or swimming or traveling or wine or whatever it is, you can brand yourself as, hey, I'm the financial chef. Here's my recipe for financial success. And while I'm at it, let me whip up a bolognese and a little bit of creme brulee for you for dessert. I'm just winging it here, as I go. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm an avid rock climber, ice climber, backcountry skier, etc. I've branded myself as the mountain sports enthusiast life insurance broker, and I'm the guy to talk to when it comes to getting life insurance for anyone that rock climbs, ice climbs. So in that, we go through that entire process of identifying your niche, including all the ChatGPT prompts that I use in my business to help you identify what that niche is. Module #2 is how we actually use digital marketing and social media to generate consistent leads. So now we need to drive traffic. The first step is building that personal brand, building out your niche, building out your offering, building out your landing page. Now that we have that product or offering, we need to drive traffic to it. So in that, I go through all the different platforms: Instagram, Facebook, which is Meta. I'll just put Meta there. Of course, we talk about YouTube in there. We also talked about LinkedIn. We also talk about Google as well. Many different things that we talk about in here. How to actually build an awareness campaign so we can actually generate all of that traffic, where we drive all of that into our funnel, which is the third module there. How can we actually build funnels from scratch that converts? So here we have, our funnel, top of the funnel right here. This is where we're directing all of our traffic that we're getting from all of our different sources right here. So top of funnel, let's put that tofu. And then of course, this is middle of funnel. And then this is bottom of funnel right here. So we talk about lead magnets and how to build them within less than 5 minutes using AI. And I explain all of this in depth. We talk about email marketing, email retargeting. And then of course here, we want to book a call. I talk about all of that, how to build out this entire funnel. And so you can drive traffic to these, to this funnel. So you can actually generate consistent booked appointments or applications in your business. And then the last thing, number 4, is how we can use systems and processes to ensure consistency. Because if you're looking at this and you're looking at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc., Google, you can start to get quite overwhelmed with how much work there is to do. So I've built all of these systems in my business where I can consistently generate all of this content that drives traffic to my funnel, that drives leads and conversations and book calls, etc. And the way that I do that is, of course, I have systems and efficiencies where I can book out my entire month. And I know from a monthly and a daily point of view exactly what I need to do every single month in order to generate all of these leads. So if you're interested in this entire masterclass, the link will be in the comment as well as in the description, and you can sign up for that. It's totally free, by the way, 100% free. You have access to that, and you can learn exactly the strategies that I've used to scale my business. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes now. The 10 most popular, best anchor videos, I guess you would call it, pillar videos that you need to create on your page if you're an insurance broker or a financial advisor. Starting with number 1, by the way, this isn't in any specific order, so I'm not saying that this is the most important one, that you need to make. Starting with term versus permanent, this is pretty straightforward. This is a comparison video. This is very good, high search intent. So why it works: comparison driven, curiosity, high search intent. People are actively deciding they want clarity before buying. They're thinking about, okay, are we going to do term? Are we going to do permanent? Maybe we should do a combination of both. So let's just talk a little bit about the titles here. And you can see that I use thumbnails and I use descriptions, or screenshots of videos that I've actually put on my channel. So you can see the data here and you can see what's working and even what's not working as we go through this. So some popular titles or some good example of some titles that you would use for this is term versus permanent, life insurance explained. Now, another thing that you want to do, and this is pretty common in most of the videos that you're going to be making as a financial advisor, is you want to include the country as well as the year. And now the year is a good way for you to update this information each and every single year. So don't think that you just have to make this video once and then it's done forever. The more content that you put out on YouTube, the more it's going to have a vast library and you can start to dominate across all of these search terms. However, each and every single year, you're going to get better at recording. You're going to get a nicer studio. You're going to get different recording methods. You're going to get better microphones. Again, you're better in front of the camera, and maybe new content. Maybe there's updates. Maybe products have changed. Maybe there's different legislation or taxes. So you're going to want to recreate these videos on a yearly basis. And furthermore, if people are searching for these topics and you have, let's say 5 top results. Let's say you search term versus permanent and there's 5 results up there and you see term versus permanent, explained, and it's got 50,000 views. However, right below that, there's another one that says, term versus permanent, completely updated 2026. And you see it's got, let's say 2,000 views. But however, it's a month old or it's 2 months old, all of a sudden you can start beating that guy with the 50,000 views, that guy or girl that put that video out, just because people are naturally going to gravitate to the most recent updated piece of information. Even if nothing's changed, they're psychologically going to see the date and they're going to want to click that video. So this is a good way for you to beat out videos that have been around for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years that have hundreds of thousands of views. You can start to beat them because people will see that year as the current year and they're going to want to watch that video. So this is a great video to make. You can see here, term life insurance versus permanent in Canada. So you can see that I followed this Canada. I didn't put in the date in this. This is pretty old, 3 years ago. It didn't do, phenomenal, but it's definitely gotten views and gotten leads for my business at 1.2K. CTA, so you want to end the video. You want to keep them in your ecosystem, so you don't want them clicking on a competitor or going off the page or going to Google or going to any other platform. You want to tell them exactly what to do. So throughout this process, I'll be just giving you some recommendations on how you should actually end the video. So CTA here, you could end it with how they can book a call with you, and you can help them based upon their goals, not necessarily the product. So you can say, okay, great, book a call. Now that you understand the difference between term life insurance and permanent, click here to book a call with me and we can walk through your specific scenario to find out exactly which one is best for you. Perfect. Life insurance 101. This, I would say, is one of the pillar or the anchor videos that you need to create on your channel. Whereas this is much more of a comparison video, term versus permanent. Life Insurance 101 is now more of a, hey, let's break down everything you need to know about life insurance. So this is going to be products. So we'll have term, we'll have whole life, and we'll have UL. You're not going to be doing an in-depth analysis in this. That's the next videos. We're going to get into that here in a second, but you do want to briefly go through them. And then you want to talk a little bit more about, the application process, what it looks like actually going through, how much you need, for how long, talk about how the beneficiaries work. This is where you're going through a very brief overview of Life Insurance 101 in your geographic region. So again, title example here, Life Insurance 101, what you need to know before buying, and then again, year and country if you can, or country absolutely, but year as well. Why it works, this is very beginner friendly. This is a very broad audience, and this is very evergreen. People are going to consistently search for this over time. This is an anchor video. You're going to want to remake this each and every single year. I've probably made 4 or 5 of these videos on my channel here. And not this channel, pardon me, but my insurance channel here. And this is something you can see here, how life insurance works in Canada, Life Insurance 101. You can see here, this has been 10 months ago, and we've already gotten 2,000 views. If you look over here, this is 3 years ago, and this only has 1.2 thousand. So already over time, this is probably going to grow to much substantially higher views than the other video, just because, it's a little bit better. I've recreated a bunch of times, and I've gotten the time down as well. So one of the things I would say for this video is because it's much more of a broader video, you're going through so many different things, don't make it too long. Like, you don't want this to be like 15 or 20 or 25 minutes. I always say for long form videos, make it as long as it needs to be and not a second longer. I would say with this video, because it's more or less going to reach a much broader audience, you want to try and keep this as short as possible. You're not going to be getting super in depth with UL and whole life and dividend options and YRT and level cost and all of that other stuff. You're not going to get super in depth. It's very high level. You just want to whet their appetite, get them a little bit excited, get them to, understand you a little bit better, build that know, like, and trust factor, and get them onto another video where you start to build things more in depth. So this is a good CTA. Next video, term versus permanent life insurance. Again, we want to keep them in our ecosystem. So at the end of the video, instead of saying, hope you guys enjoyed, have a great day, I'll see you in the next one, you can say, now that you guys understand the basics of life insurance, how it works, let's click here to view a full analysis between term life insurance and permanent life insurance to determine which one is best for you. This is a great anchor video. You'll want to build this and record this and put it on your channel. The next few videos, that we're gonna get into, now we're getting into the more complicated. Let's start to explain it more in depth. There's a million different ways that you can build the titles of this, and you can come up with different angles, and you can, come up with, like, how can I borrow from my whole life insurance policy, and how can I do this, and, which dividend option is the best. However, this is a starting point, one of the first videos that you should make. So now we're actually explaining the complexities of it. So whole life insurance explained, pros and cons, again, of course, country and year. Why it works, this is a confusing product. It creates curiosity. It's often misunderstood or misrepresented. People are trying to figure out how this works, and they're searching for answers, and you can be the person who gives them those answers and is able to get in front of them. Now, This is what I would recommend when you're creating these videos. I would try and recommend and have an angle of who this is right for and who this isn't right for. I think you'll have more success creating these videos if you list clearly the pros as well as the cons. If you're nothing but pro, this is the best product, this is amazing, everyone should get it, people are going to view you not as a trusted professional, but as a salesman who's just going to sell them every product, and they're going to lose that trust in you. Just like if you're reading or listening to a review, you're watching a review on YouTube for a product that you're considering buying, and you see the guy, all he does is, this is the best, this is the best. The only con is that I didn't buy it sooner. You immediately don't trust him and you think, something's off with this product. I don't think I want to buy it. So a good angle to have for this is when whole life makes sense and when it doesn't. I mean, have an opinion about that. Start to become familiar with the product. And, I would believe that, you should clearly articulate, hey, this isn't right for everyone. It's right for this individual. And then that individual, when you say that it's not right for everyone and it's just right for this, whatever, this person over here, they are all of a sudden, they're going to hear that. They're going to think, oh, this is for me. Like, this is really for me. He's saying like, all these other people it's not for, but this person it is for, and I'm that person, so I need to have a call with him. This is a video I put out. Again, I didn't put the year. These are all older videos. I still hadn't learned at that point 3 years ago. Still did 9.6 thousand views. So again, you can see this is a pretty heavily searched topic. And you see there's so many things wrong with these thumbnails. I have another video which I'm going to share a little bit later on about using YouTube. But you can see just a couple things. This is totally off script and unrelated. But you see a couple mistakes here that I made in the thumbnail and the title. This is something that you don't want to do, is you don't want to have the title repeated in the thumbnail. So the title is Whole Life Insurance Explained in Canada. And then the thumbnail is Whole Life Insurance Explained in Canada. You don't want to do that. They already know that it's Whole Life Insurance Explained. You don't need to repeat it in the title, or the thumbnail, pardon me. The thumbnail is now an opportunity for you to pique curiosity and say something that they wouldn't expect. And I'm going to get into some examples of what that would look like a little bit later on here in this slideshow. But just know, this is a mistake. I was doing it wrong back then. I've since learned, don't make the same mistake. We're just getting further into doing a deeper analysis of the different products. Here's universal life insurance. This is such a good pillar video, an anchor video. Here's an example. Universal life insurance explained, pros and cons, country, and year again. Now, this is why this works so incredibly well. This is a very heavily misunderstood product. It's searched for very often. Many MLMs will pitch this product, driving traffic to you. So here's the thing. Whether you agree with universal life insurance or not, whether you're for it or against it, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Many multi-level marketing companies in Canada and the United States will continuously push universal life insurance to each and every single person they see, whether that's their brother and their cousin, their mother, their sister, their boss, their coworker, their dog. It doesn't matter. They are trying to sell that to every single person. And what will happen, and what I've seen happen in my business, is they will go out, they will do all the work, they will pitch all of their friends and family and everyone, and then those people will then go onto YouTube and search for how does universal life insurance work? Because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to understand, does a friend know what they're talking about? Like, do they understand this? Is this product right for me? And that gives you an opportunity to now get in front of those clients and position yourself. Doesn't matter. I don't care what your position is, for it, against it, in the middle, up, down, left, right. I don't care. That is getting you in front of the client, and that gives you a chance to build your know, like, and trust factor, build your trust and credibility, and win over those clients. And that's happened time and time again in my business, where they said, it's great, my brother, he told me about this, he's in this MLM, sounds like a good idea, maybe I should go this route, maybe I should go this other route. I'd rather work with someone that I know has been in the industry for 5 or 10 years. They didn't just get their license 2 months ago. I want to work with a trusted professional, and I've seen all your videos, and it sounds like you know what you're talking about. This is a very good video to make. CTA, call to action at the end. You want to invite the viewer to book a meeting to review current plan. So easy way at the end of the video to get them to get a meeting, to book that, is say, listen, if you've been pitched this here, you're considering buying, either A, you already have a plan, or B, you're considering buying a plan, book a call with me. Let's go over your plan. Let's go over your process, what you have right now. Let's go over everything, and I'll determine if it's right for you or not. You get a lot of calls that way. Tons of people will book calls. and you can get potentially a lot of clients out of that. Again, you can see here, what is universal life insurance? Universal life insurance explained. Still relatively the same title and thumbnail, so you can see I was doing that wrong, but 3 years ago, and it's still got about 8.9 thousand views, driving tons of leads into my business. The last one here that I'm gonna go over, term life insurance explained. Again, this is a pretty in-depth video now. We're just going into the complexities of it. So this is where you're actually, again, all of those 3 videos, whole life explained, universal life explained, term life insurance explained, you're breaking down the nitty-gritty. You're really getting into how the product works. An example for this, term life insurance explained in 10 minutes, right? Term life insurance, it's an easier product to describe. It's an easier product to explain. You can cut this down. It doesn't need to be quite as long. Why it works, this is one of the most purchased products, clear intent, high conversion potential, okay? Next video, how much life insurance do you actually need? So you can say, great, now that you understand exactly how term life insurance works, click here to watch a video explaining how much coverage you need, or how to determine exactly how much coverage you need for term life insurance. So you can see my video here. I mentioned that we're gonna start getting into a little bit of some thumbnails that actually work. So you can see pros and cons of term life insurance in Canada. Again, I wasn't putting the year, but I did have the country, so I was doing something right. And now I'm starting to have a different thumbnail and a different title. Pros and cons of life insurance. And then, I say waste of money, I'm piquing curiosity, and I'm getting people interested in clicking. Now that we have a lot of the life insurance videos taken care of course, there's many other videos you can make, disability insurance, critical illness insurance, and then for each and every single one of those videos, there's so many different titles that you can create based upon a different entry point. So you can still have the basic framework for a video. Let's take whole life insurance, for example. You can still say, yeah, whole life insurance is a type of permanent life insurance. Here's the different dividend options. Here's the different payment options. Here's who it's right for. Here's who it's not right for. But you can have a different entry point. For example, we have whole life insurance explained, but then you could have another video that says, how do you borrow against your whole life insurance policy? Or you can have another one, what's the best dividend option for whole life insurance? Or you can have another one, how long do I have to pay for my whole life insurance? So you can have 3 different titles, or 10 or 20 or 30 with a different, we'll call it hook, or different title entry point, where you can essentially bring them in. Maybe they're searching for something besides just whole life explained, but then you still have a basic framework for the video. However, let's move on now at this point. Let's start getting into taxation. So taxation explained, the benefit of this video is it's going to be very geographically based, because no one is searching for how does Canadian taxes work, or how do taxes work in Ontario, how do taxes work in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, or in the United States, for example, Texas, Oklahoma. No one is searching for those topics unless they live in those states. And so for us, being financial advisors, insurance brokers, we need to find clients that are geographically based, because obviously our licenses are state-based or province-based. We want to find people in those provinces. So, title example, how taxes work in country, so Canada or the United States. And of course, you could break it down province by province as well. Full guide, year. Why it works? This is a very commonly searched term. So you can get a lot of traffic from this, but that doesn't always mean that it's going to be intent-based traffic. So just be aware of that. You might get a lot of traffic on these. You might get, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 views on it. That doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to be converting into life insurance clients or financial planning clients. However, it does build that trust and credibility. And more often than not, people that are searching for taxation and taxes explained are looking for some type of help when it comes to their finances, whether that's investments, financial planning, retirement planning, insurance, etc. Most of the time, you have those those individuals looking for help in those areas. So I'm not saying it happens all the time. It's a little bit less intent-based. However, you are going to pick up some leads from those individuals, and a lot of people are searching for this traffic. So call to action, encourage them to book a meeting and discuss how insurance and investments fits into tax planning. So you can say, now that you understand taxes in here, let me explain exactly what those will look like with your investments and your insurance in this specific province. You can see here, this is a video I made. This is a very early one, 3 years ago. 1.3K views, didn't do that great. Canadian taxation explained, how taxes work in Canada, etc. Here's just an example. Estate planning 101. This, if you do investments, insurance, retirement planning, this is a staple video that you need to create. Estate planning in country. So estate planning in Canada or estate planning in the United States, 101, full guide, and then put the year. That would be a great title. You can see the mine's pretty similar here. Estate planning 101 in Canada, full guide. People like to see that full guide, by the way. You know, if you say like full walkthrough or full guide or, playbook included or something like that, it's just a little bit of a, oh, this is like a full thing. Even though it's the same video as any other video that, people create, when they see that, they just naturally gravitate towards it. So putting that in your title, and then if I would have just put, 2025, that would have been a great title as well, but I didn't. Oh well, it still did very well on its own. So why it works, this is a very relevant topic for permanent life insurance, as well as for estate planning, as well as retirement planning investments, but you can segue very easily into retirement planning and investments. Now, next video, two different things you could do here. I would choose only one, depending on if you do retirement planning or if you just do insurance. So if you do retirement planning, you can say, okay, now that you understand everything you need to know about estate planning, click here to watch my full breakdown of retirement planning. And do you have enough during retirement? Do you have enough money to survive, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't do any retirement planning, you could do a CTA of how to use permanent life insurance to lower your taxes upon death. So you say, great, now you understand, the basics of estate planning. Click here to see how you can use whole life insurance or universal life insurance to lower your tax bill upon death or transfer more to the next generation tax-free, or et cetera, et cetera. That is going to drive a lot of phone calls and a lot of booked appointments into your business. So this video has done great. You can see 2 years ago, 31,000 views. This is doing awesome. Good title, good thumbnail. Just, rob and duplicate. You can see what works. I would just recommend trying to improve upon this, put your own spin on it, throw it out there. I promise you guys, you will see views and you will see results. Moving on to number 8, infinite banking explained. Here's the thing. I don't care if you're pro infinite banking, anti infinite banking. This is similar to universal life insurance. Here's the thing that you need to understand about infinite banking, and the term is that for you, infinite bank, as a financial advisor, infinite banking is an institution that created, this coined term. But for consumers, infinite banking is the term that encompasses using permanent life insurance as an investment. So anytime a consumer thinks about permanent life insurance, whether that's whole life or even universal life, as an investment, they think infinite banking. So it's a very highly searched term for all consumers that are thinking about using permanent life insurance as an investment. So whether or not you're involved in infinite banking, if you want to do any type of leverage strategies, whether that's back-end leverage or front-end leverage, infinite banking is a term that consumers are going to be looking up. They're not searching corporate insured retirement plan or, immediate financing arrangement or IFA. No one knows that except for the brokers. What consumers know is infinite banking. So this is where you want to build out some of those search terms. Title example here. So, infinite banking explained, honest review. This is a highly controversial topic with a lot of, I'll say, zealots in this space, a lot of diehards that are nothing but like pro. This is the best thing ever since sliced bread. And I think if you breathe some fresh air, again, like I said, of pros and cons, who is this right for and who is this not right for, you're gonna get a lot more leads and a lot more clients in your business because people want to see a balanced review of both sides. And when they hear someone just say, this is the best, nothing beats this, cash out your RSP and your TFSA and, et cetera, and put it all in here, most people immediately get this little like, this guy's a salesperson and he's just trying to sell me. So if you position yourself as someone who says, hey, listen, here's where I think it's right, here's where I think it's wrong, you will gain a lot more clients, a lot more leads, instead of trying to be just the pro. The only con is you wish you would have bought sooner guy. You don't want to be that guy. Okay, why it works. Very highly searched topic, especially when it comes to, again, permanent life insurance as an investment. It's highly controversial, so take that with a grain of salt. It will perform very well with genuine review, considering both sides. That's my recommendation for this video. CTA, book a call to discuss if this works for you and your situation, etc. You can say, this is a great, this is one of my better performing videos on the channel. This has gotten me so many phone calls, so many leads, a lot of opportunity, lots of closed commissions as well. Infinite banking concept explained. I threw the honest and unbiased in there. Again, this is going to just improve that click-through ratio. People are going to see that and they're going to click it above another video because, again, I think they are looking for an unbiased review of this, and putting that in the title will increase your click-through ratio. You can see this doing great. 2 years ago, 30,000 views. This is a good anchor video. Going into number 9, registered accounts. Obviously, if you're not doing any investments, maybe this won't be applicable for you. But if you're doing investments, this is a really good video to make because, again, this is geography based. No one is searching for how a TFSA works if they live in the US, and no one is searching for Roth IRA if they live in Canada. So you're getting people only in your country searching for this term. And you can make a bunch of these different videos. So, I mean, title example, you could do TFA explained, you could do RSP explained, you could do LIRA explained, you could do Roth, again, if you're in the States, Roth IRA explained, 401k, and I'd put full guide and I'd put the year as well. I don't have that down here, unfortunately, but that's what I would put. That would rank quite well. Common confusion, high search volume, directly related to investments, leads to calls. If you're in the investment world, you need to be doing these. If you're in the insurance world, you also do investments, you need to be doing these. And I would do a bunch of comparison videos as well. Just like I talked about at the beginning of this video, term life insurance versus permanent, I would be doing RSP versus TFSA. Which one do you maximize first? So at the end of the video, you can say, now that you understand exactly how an RSP works, click here to watch a video where I break down RSP versus TFSA and which one you should maximize first based on where you're at and all these different variables, etc., etc. As you can see here, this one's done pretty good. LIRA explained, full guide on locked-in registered accounts. 2 years ago, 10,000 views. Not bad, pretty good. Last one here, retirement planning explained. Unfortunately, I didn't have a video on my channel that I could pull from. I don't do that much retirement planning in my business. It's mostly an insurance business, so unfortunately I don't have this. However, if you do retirement planning, you do a lot of investments, this is a great video to make. You can do many different videos on this topic, but I just picked one here, a complete guide to CPP and OAS in year, Canada retirement planning. Again, this is going to be geography based, so you're going to get clients that are specific to Canada or the United States, etc. And why it works, it's directly related to investments and financial planning. There's high confusion and anxiety, and there's strong educational demand. This is now your opportunity to build your trust and credibility and authority with those clients before they ever even walk in the door. So when they finally do walk in the door and they book a meeting with you, it's a completely different meeting. It's not, hey, okay, sell me on what I should do. It's, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. I know you're a busy person. I've watched all your videos. I just have a few questions. I'd love to know how your process works. And then you can go from there. It's a completely different conversation than just getting a lead off of Facebook or ads or anything like that. They actually know, like, and trust you as soon as they got on the call. So a CTA that you could use for this, you could do a lead magnet with a full retirement checklist. That would be a great one that I would recommend. This is from a guy here. He's a great YouTuber I think he's in Vancouver. I'm not 100% on that, but he does tons of good retirement videos and investment videos. Complete guide to CPP and OAS in 2025. So you can see here, he's already killing it with the year, and he has complete guide in the title as well. So he's doing great. It's probably why he's got 54,000 views on that. This is a great video to make as well. Now, you guys have a full breakdown of 10 videos that you can go and create today. If you guys need to understand and learn exactly how you can use YouTube to build out these videos and consistently get leads as a financial advisor, click here to watch my full breakdown on how to use YouTube and start to generate inbound leads today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you are enjoying it, just give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.